had game. Top of the second, D-backs up 1-0, and the former USC teammates, that round goes to Randy Johnson. McGuire's 17th K in 37 at bats against the unit. How about we make it 18 Ks in 38? McGuire comes up at the top of the fifth with the bases loaded, nobody out. Cards down 3-1, going to do some damage. Lifts it, so home run. If we're playing on a silo, we're not. We're playing at Bob. Steve Finley is there. That's out number 1, and the fun starts. Placido Polanco trying to score. Steve Finley guns him down. Damian Miller down to third. That would be Edgar Renteria out. A triple play, 8-2-6. First in Diamondbacks history, 4th this month. Oh, yeah, round 4. He didn't miss that time. Big Mac crushes one. The Cardinals' 100th homer of the year in just 52 games. Breaks the Reds' record by 12 games. The 56th Cincinnati team did it. McGuire's 21st. Diamondbacks hold on and win it by a count of 6-2. McGuire 1 for 4, the home run and 2 Ks. He is now 9 for 40 all-time with 3 homers against the big unit. Johnson 7 2/3, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks in this one. Passes Cy Young for 14th on the all-time strikeout list. Mets Mike Hampton versus the Dodgers Kevin Brown, pitching and more pitching. Kevin Brown, got to get the leg out of the way. Edgardo Alfonso gets him. How about that? Staying with it and getting out on Fonzie. We take a replay look at this one. Brown limping, and here is why. Those baseballs aren't soft, and neither are bones. Brown, 6 innings, would head off to the locker room. No decision in this one. Bottom of the 6th. More injuries for the Dodgers. Gary Sheffield hitting Mike Piazza in the back of the helmet. Mike Piazza currently a member of the Mets. Take another look at this one, and this one is not pretty at all. Sheffield cracked right in the coconut. Piazza bleeding, forced to leave the game. Diagnosed as a mild concussion. Took 1 stitch. 9th inning, Kevin Elster tie ball game off Turk Wendell. Turk, please bring your playbook. The coach wants to see you. His 8th of the year for Elster, 4-3. The Dodgers are a winner. Neither Hampton or KB get a decision. Mets in this one give up their 20th unearned run of the season. They had 20 all of last year. Mets fall to 2-8 in California this season. Dodgers put Todd Hundley on the 15-day DL Wednesday because of a strained rib cage muscle.
Pitch, and Tim Salmon loves cookies down the middle, giving the Angels a 2-0 lead. Salmon his 12th home run of the year. Bottom of the second, 1 on, nobody out. Same score. Russell Branyan just called up from AAA Buffalo with his 2nd career home run. We're tied. But the Indians were up 6-2 in the 7th, and Chuck Finley continues to be the master. 8 Ks, 6 2/3, 2 runs allowed. Bottom 8, Kenny Lofton ripping it. Eric Weaver goes bare, makes a great play. Great play, but not enough for a victory as the Indians win by the score of 7-3. Finley puts an end to his personal 4-game losing skid. 2nd straight season. By the way, Russell Branyan has homered in his first at-bat of the year. White Sox in Seattle looking for their 4th win in 6 games. Top of the 7th, no outs, 1 on. Mariners up 2. Carlos Lee. To Aaron Seeley, miscommunication. Seeley throws right of second. Mark McLemore too far from the bag to make the DP. Mariners blow a chance to turn it. It would come back to haunt them. 2 batters later, Brooke Fordyce likes the pitch. Chris Singleton and Herbert Perry come in to score, and the White Sox tie up the game at 3. Timely hitting is what Chicago is all about this year. Top of the 9th, nobody out, nobody on. We're still tied. Lee to third. John Mabry can't handle the hot shot, and Lee would reach 2nd base. Very aggressive base running as Mabry would be charged with an error on the play. Next batter, Chicago looking to take advantage, and does. Thanks to Perry. Opposite way, into the corner, off of Kazuhiro Sasaki. Lee scores from 2nd. White Sox would win, making their own breaks and capitalizing. 4-3 the final as the White Sox take
The City in 1968. Matt Stairs decides to celebrate with a 3-run homer off David Cone. Now you know why the Yanks were trying to trade for him. Oakland takes a 3-zip lead. Stairs 8th of the season. Bottom of the 6th. Yanks down 7-3 and getting some of it back. Ricky Leday with 2 guys on drives him home. His 3-run bomb, his 4th of the year. 7-6. Bottom of the 8th. 2 on, Derek Jeter. Jason Isringhausen gets him looking. 8-7 A's. Isringhausen got the last 5 outs of the game to record his 11th save. A's improved to a Major League best 17-10 on the road. They win a series at Yankee Stadium for the first time since April of '97. David Cone drops to 3-10 with a 5.48 ERA since throwing that perfect game against the Expos on July 18th of last year. Didn't look good when it happened Tuesday. Didn't look good on the MRI. John Valentin's knee injury, not good. Red Sox third baseman out for the season with a ruptured patellar tendon in his left knee. Ouch. Andy Sheets called up from AAA to take his roster spot. Wilton Veras gets Valentin's spot at third Wednesday night against the Royals. Top of the second. Johnny Damon, that's going to rattle around down there right corner. Well, no, maybe not. A fan puts his hand on it. Greg Zaun, Ray Sanchez scoring a triple by Johnny Damon. 3-0 Royals. Well, Jimmy Williams says, I think we had fan interference, and he lets Jerry Crawford know about it. As always, managers lose these things. He's ejected. Top of the fourth, 4-zip Royals, Ray Sanchez. Oh, nice play by Nomar, and a better play by Mike Stanley. Nomar then gets yanked with the team down 9-2, a move Williams says he made even after the ejection. Carl Everett also sitting, and the Sox would rally. Brian Dahlbeck rips one down the right field line. Veras would score. Jeff Fry would score. 34 and 35 RBIs on the season for Dahlbeck. Red Sox within 3 at 9-6. 3 batters later. Tying runs in scoring position, Troy O'Leary, no. 3 unassisted to Mike Sweeney. That ends the threat. Nomar and Everett, it could have been them. They were gone. Mike Sweeney, Johnny Damon, Jermaine Dye accounted for 10 of Kansas City's 14 hits. Sweeney 4 for 5. Max Suzuki, 2 out hits are great. Barry Bonds against Paul Bird. Bonds is the greatest player ever. 465th career home run ties him with Dave Winfield for 20th all time. It was his 20th this season. 5-2 Giants, Kevin Jordan this time, and that's good placement inside the foul pole, his first of the year. Mark Gardner is not pleased. Bottom of the sixth, same scorer, Ramon E. Martinez. Oh, here's a Martinez that can hit, not pitch. 2-run homer, third of the year, 7-4 Giants. They win it by a count of 10-4. Bonds has 13 home runs in 25 games at Pac-Bell. Breaking down the 465, 232 homers at home, 233 on the road. Phils have dropped 8 straight series meetings. Beer makers and the Padres, the highlight lives. It's glove night in San Diego. Oh, it'll be 14 and under again. Bottom of the third, that would be Eric Owens. It's glove night in San Diego. Still 1-zip Padres. Ron Belliard gets ripped off. Bottom of the seventh, David Weathers in the lead. Damian Jackson shooting one the other way. Jeremy Burnitz, he's anti-glove night. Carlos Hernandez around third to score. San Diego goes on to win it by a count of 9-5. Brewer pitchers walk 12 batters. That's not a way to win a game. Roberto Hernandez, B.J. Surhoff off the pitcher, but they fired at first. Surhoff, well, you're out, or so says Brian Runge, but Eddie Murray, Surhoff, they protest. They say Fred McGriff, he pulled his foot off the bag. We look at it again, and indeed, McGriff, foot off the bag. So third base umpire John Shulock comes over and says, buddy, I can do this now. I'm going to overrule you. Larry Rothschild says, I'm going to protest your ruling. We go back to the action. Charles Johnson singles, advances Surhoff to third. Brady Anderson, no relation, strikes out against Hernandez. We drop protest because the Devil Rays win the game 4-3. Oh, it's 2 tries in the ninth, and they still lose. Fred McGriff, homer.
Catches Jay Canizero chilling on a big breaking ball. No wonder Wells has beat down Minnesota 7 straight times. Bottom first, Carlos Delgado. Like Carlos Santana on the guitar, Carlos, you be making that bat cry. His 18th homer of the year, 14 of them at home. Jay's up 2-zip. Top third, David Wells takes Jason Maxwell to school. Wells Academy. Maxwell, a 310 hitter. In the fifth, Maxwell from the Department of Redundancy Department. In the seventh, Maxwell needs to be Maxwell smart and call Agent 99. Both Maxwell and Matthew LaCroix struck out 3 times each.
Blasted to left.
Bottom 8, Chris Woodward, dong-da-dong-dong-dong. 2-run homer to left. First career home run. Blue Jays win at 4-2. Wells gets career win.
Cirillo showing off his woodwork. The 21st home run allowed by Lima this season. Cirillo 3 for 5. He's hitting .324. That was his 4th home run. Lima's ERA 8.03. Tie game in the 8th. Jeffrey Hammonds breaks the tie off of Billy Wagner. Hammonds simply not scared of heights. His 9th home run. Hammonds loves hitting at Coors Field. .424 batting average, 11 homers, 35 RBIs in 20 games. The Rockies win their 5th straight. Gabe White a perfect 6-0 after throwing a perfect 8th. Todd Helton, he walked 3 times for the 2nd straight game, but he went 1 for 2 and joined some impressive company. Ball to Vladimir Guerrero. Next level. Guerrero's 14th of the year. His first homer in 11 games. Ties the game at 1. Top of the 9th, Expos in control up 5, but Guerrero was not done. His 7th multi-homer game of his career. That one off Scott Sullivan. 3 for 5, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, all in a day's work for Vlad. 10-4 the final. For Jose Vitro chipped in with